Despite this pesky pandemic still popping its ugly head around the state, wreaking havoc on some scheduling, the games went on. Swimming, soccer, and volleyball up ahead, plus a ton of football to sink your teeth into. Mask up! State Champs Michigan starts now. What's up, Michigan? State Champs High School Sports Show is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Also brought to you by Hungry Howie's, the MHSAA, and the Michigan National Guard. We've got about 12.5 games for you this week. Updates in our State Champs Mr. Football and Anvil Awards, too. So what are we waiting for? Let's go.
I'm Mike Erlitis. We head to action in the KLAA with a battle in Livonia. As Livonia Churchill Chargers host the team looking to avenge their loss from a year ago, the Spartans of Livonia Stevenson. The hosting Chargers strike first on their initial drive. Senior wideout Jordan Garcia takes the end around in for the touchdown. Churchill up 7-0. Stevenson not wasting any time on their rebuttal. On the first play of their possession, Caden Woodall breaks away from the pack, going 60 yards for the score. We are all tied up at 7 apiece. Still in the first, Chargers threatening once again. QB Gavin Brooks floats one to the end zone. Dennis White comes up with the catch, but flags are flown. After further review, the touchdown stands as Churchill takes a 14-7 lead as we head to the half. We take it to the fourth. Stevenson with the ball, now down 17-7 after a Charger field goal. Check out Caden Woodall again finding pay dirt. The Churchill lead just 3 at 17-14. On the following drive, the Chargers would stay in the driver's seat as Boston Clegg Jr. takes this one 62 yards, putting Churchill up to a more comfortable lead at 24-14. Spartans not going down without a fight. Woodall taking the snap and lofting it up. The ball is tipped by a Charger defender but ends up in the hands of Stevenson's Landon Mesick. Although cutting the lead down to 4 with that TD, it would not be enough, as Churchill holds on against Stevenson by a final score of 24-20 as they improve their season record to 3-1.
I'm Kevin Trzynski reporting from Bloomfield Hills for this football matchup as Brother Rice hosted the Lapeer Lightning. Lapeer won this matchup last year 34-10, but the Warriors looking to avenge last year's loss, and they started this game off on the right foot. Warriors QB Jake Coulter with the nice lob under this ball. Senior Rocco Milia makes the leaping 25-yard catch in the end zone. Rice up 7-0. Warriors with possession of the ball again near midfield. Coulter waits for the screen to develop. Sophomore running back Nolan Ray secures the rock, and he will reach pay dirt on the 54-yard grab. Rice up 14-0 at the end of the first. Lapeer would finally get something going in the second as they drive the ball down to the red zone on the 7. Junior running back Braden McKenna keeps the feet moving, pounding his way into the end zone. Lightning getting their first score of the game, 14-7 Brother Rice. 4 minutes left in the second. Rice threatening on the doorstep. Coulter fakes the give to Ray. Miko Stewart, number 11, follows the block and into the end zone. The senior scores, putting Rice up 21-7. The Lightning look to add 3 with just pennies left up on the clock. And it's blocked. Ball is very alive, and a familiar face, Rocco Milia, will get the scoop, and he scores as time expires. Rice, with all the momentum, headed into the locker room up big, 28-7. Brother Rice would pull away in the second half. Coulter drops and throws a dart right into the hands of freshman wideout Zavi Bowman, and Warriors get that revenge from last year's loss. Your final score, Brother Rice 42, Lapeer 7.
I'm Greg Molson in Midland, where the hometown Chemics came out looking pretty in pink, looking to stay unbeaten, taking on the Cavaliers of Flint Carmen-Ainsworth. Midland strikes first on its opening possession. Drew Johnson barreling into the end zone to make it 7-zip. The next score comes from the Chemics special teams. Nick Dower blocks the punt that goes out of the back of the end zone. That's a safety for 2 more points. That was it until the final minute of the first half when Johnson dives in for his second score of the night to make it 16-0 at the half. The Carmen-Ainsworth defense had 2 fourth-down stops and an interception to keep it close in the first half. Terrence Wallace adds his second pick in the second half, but the offense could not turn that into points. And the Chemics add to their lead with Ty Smith finding the end zone from a couple yards out. The Cavaliers finally get on the board later in the third. Gavin Glastetter hitting Jaheim Billingsley inside the 1. That set up a Glastetter sneak on the next play, but that was it for CA, while the Chemics added 3 more scores, Johnson getting his 3rd touchdown of the night. Midland wins it 44-6 to remain perfect going into its season-ending rivalry game against Midland Dow next week.
How about some 8-man football out of the North Star League as All Gray Sims were in Atlanta to take on the Huskies? Late in the first quarter, All Gray Sims goes on an 18-0 run to start the ball game. Mason Van Sickle throws a little screen pass to Keegan Bender, and he'll do the rest. That would go as a 9-yard touchdown pass for Van Sickle. Wolverines up after 1. Second quarter now, here come the Huskies. Out of the I formation, and it's a jet sweep. Aaron Kazor takes it in for a Huskies touchdown. 2-point try was successful. Huskies only down by 10. Moments after that, here come the Huskies again. Trace Urgens was able to turn a bad play into a great play. This would go as a touchdown run for the junior. He cuts back in the middle of the field, and see ya. Huskies now trailing by 4. But the Wolverines come back marching. On 4th and goal, gutsy call, but Van Sickle keeps it himself, and he'll make his way in for 6 more. My, oh my. But the Huskies would come back from being down double figures and rally past the Wolverines, winning by a score of 44-42.
Hey everybody, welcome back inside the State Champs Sports Network studios for another update in our State Champs Mr. Football race presented by Hungry Howie's. Go get yourself a pie, will you? Sean Belizean is here joining me as always. And Sean, we are going to talk up 2 more guys. Our leading vote getter is one of them.
Yeah, you know what? This is such a great time of year because what you're doing is you're looking at a situation where there have been some mainstays on our list, not just this year, but for the past couple years. And there's some guys that are making some noise and on what we like to refer to as our watch list. First of all, let's start with the mainstays. As you mentioned, Andrell Anthony, he's been unbelievable. He's been on this list for 2 years. I think everybody knows he's going to end up going to Michigan. He picked up where he left off last year. He's a touchdown machine. He scores a touchdown each and every game. That's just the way it is. He's got an outstanding team in East Lansing as well. So Andrell Anthony, not only is he on this list as the leading vote getter, but as far as I'm concerned, this is a kid that could very well win this award when all is said and done. How about Zach Traynor? Here's another guy, mainstay. 2 years he's been on this list. He continues the incredible lineage at Walled Lake Western. 6'2", 205 pounds. And just to remind everybody why he's been on this list, how about last week? 4 more touchdown passes in a 35-24 win. The Warriors now 3-1 on the season. And much like Andrell Anthony's team, this is a dangerous Walled Lake Western team. They're going to have to be reckoned with in Division II. Lauren, as you mentioned, we talk about our watch list. So the next few weeks, we're going to bring some names that might be playing their way onto our list. How about Caden Woodall from Livonia Stevenson? Check out these numbers from the 6'1", 220-pounder. Last week, he had 296 yards and 5 scores on 28 carries. This is a guy that's playing both ways as well. I had an opposing coach tell me he is a truck. So Caden Woodall from Livonia Stevenson, by the way, 4.0 student heading to Harvard. How about that to continue his career and education? we'll be keeping an eye on that young Spartan, Lauren.
We have seen Ivy Leaguers get into our Mr. Football competition over the years, so that is nothing new. Zach Traynor was one of those guys that we were unsure if he was going to be able to really stay on the list based on early competition. He set a school record for passing, and that's saying something at Walled Lake Western last week. So it looks like for now, Zach Traynor is safe. And again, we want to hear from you guys, as we did regarding Woodall. We were enlightened of his stats and his performance this year, about guys that should be considered to be a Mr. Football candidate. You can do that by emailing us, contact us at statechampsnetwork.com. Remember to vote. It's very, very important, especially when we're breaking down if guys should stay on a list. Obviously, Andrew Anthony, way far ahead. So continue to do that. You vote at statechampsnetwork.com. You can contact us. We will see you on the gridiron and next week for another update.
Hungry Howie's wants to thank you, because for every pizza sold in October, we make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And together we've raised millions of dollars just by doing what you love. Hungry Howie's.
I'm Kevin Czerzinski, and we go to Novi for this KLAA West Division matchup in volleyball. The Northville Mustangs crossing 8 Mile into Wildcat territory. Both teams undefeated in conference play coming into tonight's match, and the baseline battle starts right now. Northville got a taste of Novi a few days prior at the Mercy Power Series quad, faltering in that one. But the Mustangs got off to a hot start here in the first set. Senior Jaden Rice setting up Juliana Imbuziro, and she gets the kill. Mustangs find themselves up several points in the first set. But Novi would battle back, keeping the first set close. After a great rally by both teams, the vision is 20-20 by the senior Mega Gandhi. Just check out how close this one is. Just outside the line, and the Wildcats crawling back. Novi on the verge of taking the first set. Junior Sarah Kalanchi with the serve, and the return by the Mustangs is out of bounds. Another great eye by the Wildcats. Novi rallies back after being down and take the first set 25-23. In the second, the Wildcats finding their rhythm. Junior Rachel Carr with the bump to sophomore Sarah Volushi, and the block by Northville is not successful. Wildcats with the point. Northville's strong game this night came from the ladies in front of the net. Sophomore Abby Reck with the soft touch, but the Mustangs still down a few points. Novi about to clinch the second set. Once again, it's the junior Carr setting up sophomore Volushi, faking out all the Mustangs on that backspin hit. Wildcats take the second set 25-17, and they get the brooms ready. Here in the third set, match point for the Wildcats, and off the Mustang serve, this one's into the net. 25-22 is the third set score. Novi defeats Northville in 3 straight.
This is an opportunity for 3 in a row, right? We've been working for this time all season long, right? All of the hot summer days, all not knowing when the games are, this is our time to perform.
I'm Ryan Slocum. We go to a Division I boys soccer district opener as Dearborn was taking on the Thunderbirds from Dearborn Edsel Ford. First meeting between these two teams in 3 years. We pick this one up in the second half with 0 still on the scoreboard. Edsel Ford in white. Great chance right here. The junior Murad Muhammad with the open net, but his shot sails just wide. But the Thunderbirds would get another opportunity just moments later. Zaid El Wagdi with the dish to El Hassan Nasser. The senior buries it top shelf, giving Edsel Ford a 1-0 lead. And now the Birds are feeling it. Just 90 seconds later, following the Dearborn turnover, it's the senior Sali El Shimam putting his name in the score sheet. Just like that, Edsel Ford up a pair. The Pioneers awarded the penalty kick in the 64th minute, and Luke Kearns puts it into the back of the net. Just like that, they are tied at 2. But it's the Thunderbirds getting the go-ahead goal with just 10 minutes to play. The senior, Moeth Ali, right place. He puts it in the top corner, and that would do it. Edsel Ford goes on to beat Dearborn 3-2, the final
They advance to the district semifinal next week.
I'm Jeremy Otto, and we head to a first-place showdown in the Downriver League as Trenton went on the road to take on their rivals from Allen Park. Both of these teams coming in unbeaten at 7-0 in the league, and we pick things up in the first set. Trenton in the far court, freshman setter Molly Edmonds feeds it off to the senior Emma Thackeray, who notches down the kill. Allen Park district champs for the 7th year in a row would answer just moments later following a really good rally. The senior Kylie Laginus with the dish to Delaney Shively, who pounds it home. Now this opening set would go back and forth, a nice diving dig by Emily Stetz, and then it's Shively who taps it home for the point. But it would be Trenton that would prevail in the first set. Thackeray slams it down the line to seal a Trojans win in set 1, 27-25. The Trojans would carry that momentum into the second set too. Junior Ayla Johnson is in perfect position to block the Allen Park attack here. Then moments later would be Edmonds feeding it over to the senior Kayla Everingham, who tucks it in for the kill. Trenton now up 2-0. Well, now Allen Park looking to avoid a sweep on their home court. It's Laginus with the set to senior Gianna Tiberia, who lofts it in for the kill. The Jaguars out to an early lead. We fast forward later in the set. Following another good rally, Edmonds once again to Thackeray, who uses this mighty swing to put the Trojans up 17-12. The Jags still kicking though. Stetz sends it to the far court for the point here, whittling the deficit down to 3, 23-20. Trenton just too much here tonight though. Senior Elena Mulford finishes the match in style, securing the ace on match point as the Trojans sweep Allen Park in 3 sets and take sole possession of first place in the Downriver League.
I'm Jake Vanderbrook from the Northeast Michigan area. Let's take you out to Alpena, where the Wildcats were hosting the Northmen of Petoskey in a Big North Conference showdown. Petoskey would look to set the tone early, but Caleb Goshik is going to cough up the football, and Caden Budnick would fall on top of it. Strong start for the Wildcats defense. But a few plays after that, Goshik makes up for that fumble as he'll pick off this pass from Ryan Volz to give the Northmen a fresh new start on offense. Just over 6 minutes left in the first. Petoskey threatening in the red zone. Gavin Wargel takes the handoff and he'll punch it in from 9 yards out. Extra point good. Northmen strike first. Second quarter, Wildcats looking to respond. Volz hands the ball off to Caden Budnick and he'll sneak his way in for 6. Extra point is good, all squared away at 7 heading into halftime. Petoskey would get off to a strong start in the third quarter, and they kept giving the ball to their main weapon, Gavin Wargel. This time he'll find a hole up the middle and make this his way in for his second touchdown of the night, and that's all they needed for offense. Northmen go on to beat the Wildcats by a score of 14-7.
Harrison Beebe reporting from Northern Michigan, where we start with Sault Ste. Marie at Kingsley. Blue Devils coming below the bridge to play for the lead in the NMFL Legends division, but the Stags' first drive took a while to get going, but it ends in 6. Connor Schuler, the handoff up the middle after a 2-point conversion. Stags led it home 8-0. Second quarter now, Evan Douglas looking out. He finds Brett Peterson, and BP puts it on to the end zone. Number 44 makes it 14-0 in the second quarter. Later the quarter, Douglas keeps it himself, rolls out, and rolls into the end zone. Stags with a comfortable 20-0 lead. Sioux on 4th and 1 midfield. Need to spark near the end of the half. QB Jacob Davey delivers, rolling out, getting the first down. Then Davey through the skies. It looks like it's going to get knocked away, but Bennett Swanson pulls it down and stays in bounds. Take another look at the impressive grab by Swanson, keeping the Blue Devils in it near the end of the half. Unfortunately, that drive would stall out, and the Stags roll to a 40-6 win at home.
Let's take a look at an important rules change for the upcoming season. Among the rules changes in high school football for the 2020-21 school year is an adjustment in penalty assessed to the defense for disconcerting acts and sounds. Among the gamesmanship that sometimes takes place near the line of scrimmage at the start of a play, defensive players have been known to make sounds or act in a manner which otherwise might distract an offensive player waiting for the snap signal. Previously, the most egregious of these actions would be penalized 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct. But beginning this year, the disconcerting act foul is a 5-yard penalty. The change in the rule actually makes it more likely that this kind of behavior will be flagged and may eventually lead to a reduction in this type of behavior. To learn more about football rules and football rules changes, please visit the MHSAA website.
I'm Lauren Plants, and this was the Detroit Public School League City Championship from Northwestern High School. Cass Tech versus Martin Luther King. Who would take the mantle as kings of the city? King 3-1, Cass unbeaten. We had a classic in week 1. The Technicians took it 34-26. Under 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Mean Green got their first score. The Penn State commit Kobe King had a big game in the first clash. Got CT on the board here, 7-0 Cass. Midway through the second quarter, Cass Tech using the run game to pay dividends again. The junior Kareem Sharif busts his way into the Kings secondary. 52 yards to the crib, 14-0 game.
Let's go! Yeah. I see you, Turtle!
4.5 minutes later, the defending champ Crusaders facing 2nd and 20. Mr. Football candidate Dante Moore looking deep. What a grab by the junior Chancey Willis Jr. The D1 Hoops recruit showing off his athleticism. 49-yard pitch and catch, missed PAT. One of the surprises this year, the incredible poise by CT sophomore QB LeSean Mumfield, slinging arrows. Here, connecting with Nate Briggs, who makes the adjustment. The Technicians had a 21-point advantage at the break. The Crusaders now forced to dig deep.
It's a game. It's a game. You have to play ball. So now you have to respond.
Third quarter, and I think this play is indicative of how Cass never took their foot off the gas. Kobe King back with the ball, and he will carry defenders forward several more yards before he's brought down. Mumfield went 10 of 12 for 161 yards. Nice touch over top into the hands of the junior Jameel Gardner. 44 yards later, Technicians with a commanding 28-6 lead. 5:45 left in the third, and Gardner wasn't done. Humphreys will hit him again in the end zone. CT running away with it. Jameel Gardner was unconscious. Check out this circus catch over his defender. Sweet! Cass Tech knocking on the door yet again. 4:11 was still left in the third when Alvin Hosdub Jr. finished off the drive to make it 41-6. The Crusaders would muster a few scores before it was all said and done, including this blocked field goal attempt, and it's that man Willis again who is going to sprint 75 yards to pay dirt for the score, but this was the Technicians' day. Final score, 41-19. First PSL championship since 2018.
This is a big game. We knew coming into it. We practiced hard all week, and it just shows on the field. We fell short last year. We come out this year and we do it, man. It feels good.
Hey guys, welcome back in the studio. Time for another update in our State Champs Anvil Award competition presented by Hungry Howie's. The Hall of Fame coach Tim Beckler is here, and he's fired up because he's got a couple of guys that he wants to talk about, actually both committed to the same university. Before he does, I do want to say that we have made a change. This is the first change that we've had, the first shakeup in the Anvil Award competition. Rayshawn Benning for Oak Park has not played. He's got a knee injury. He might come back. When he does, if he plays his way back into the competition, that could happen. But for right now, we could not ignore this gentleman from Fenton any longer. He is now a part of the competition. Why don't you talk about him?
Josh Thompson from Fenton. Offensive tackle, defensive tackle, 6'5", 290, again committed to Northwestern. Josh so far through 4 games has not given up a sack. Excellent pass pro technique. Just his balance, his footwork is just perfect. And I would like to know how strong this kid is in the bench press, because he is strong. He smacks people.
He has aggression out there, it's no question.
He's got a great punch. He's a great athlete. He can move. But when I watch his run blocking, I mean, it put a smile on my face. This kid finishes with his feet. If he doesn't knock you down with his punch, he is strong. In fact, a lot of his pancakes, he finishes them so strong that he flips over them in a somersault after he finishes the block. I mean, he is dominant. Defensively, he's a J.J. Watt type, absolutely crushes the run, but he's lengthy, he gets to the quarterback's face, he bats balls down. This kid's really moved up a lot in my list. He's a great football player.
Preseason All-American, so he's playing like it.
Yeah. And then our next young man is Caleb Tiernan from Detroit Country Day, offensive tackle and defensive end, 6'7", 280. I just can't believe the size of these kids we're talking about. Also, like I said, a commit to Northwestern. He had a nickname called the Mini Fridge in youth football. In fact, he was too big his last year to play, and that's probably happens to most of these kids, you know. He's also a basketball player, and you can tell it's really helped his feet. He moves very well for a big fella. Pass blocking, what I really liked about him was his discipline. He waits. He doesn't go attack. He waits for them to come. He doesn't get out of position by overextending or leaning. He keeps his weight back, and I was really impressed with that. Obviously at 6'7", he's got the long arms, and he's got a pretty strong punch as well. And when it comes to run blocking, you know, to be that tall and be able to get out of your stance and have pad level and keep leverage, he does a very good job at it, and he delivers a great blow. And what really impresses me about him, and really all these guys we're talking about, they finish their blocks with their feet. They do not stop until that whistle blows. And like I like to say, to the echo of the whistle, they finish. At defensive end, he's got a pretty good speed rush for being that big. And you see him making plays on quarterbacks in the open field. He gets to people. Very impressed with him too.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a chance to see Tiernan in person in the playoff win that Country Day had over Harper Woods last year. I was very impressed. He is a mountain of a man, but he has got a lot of nimbleness to him, if that's a word. All right, well, the Anvil competition continues on. Rocco Spindler in the lead in the vote, in by a lot. Shared kind of a funny story on our Extra Point podcast this week if you want to check that out. But I do not want to discourage anyone from voting in the competition just because Rocco has a sizable lead. We do look at how the fans are participating in the Anvil Award competition and how they are voting for their guy. So if you continue to prop up and support your guys, that helps in our evaluations on if we should be moving new guys into the competition. So just keep that in mind. If you have guys, just as we were alluded to, in terms of guys that should be considered for this competition, we want to hear from you. Send us an email. Contact us at statechampsnetwork.com is the email address, and we will check them out. He's Tim. I'm Lauren. We'll see you next week. Did you record an unbelievable touchdown, a game-winning goal, or just a proud parent moment? Then we want your clip. Upload your video to the brand new State Champs Network app so we can feature it on one of our shows and give your player, team, and school the recognition they deserve. All it takes is just a few easy clicks, and every clip that is submitted will automatically be eligible for prizes. Download the State Champs Network app today for iPhone and Android devices.
I'm Jenna Rose, and we go to girls swimming on the west side of the state as Hamilton was at home to take on the combined squad of Zeeland West and Zeeland East. We begin with the 200 freestyle. This is Karina Musin for Zeeland going in for the 3-second victory as they would take the first 2 races on the night. Hamilton, ranked 4th in Division III, would respond in the 200 IM. The junior Ava Johnson cruises to victory by 4 seconds. On to the 50 freestyle. It was a battle to the end. It would be the senior Hannah Pfaffman edges it out by 0.23 seconds for the win. Let's take a look at diving. Sadie Huizinga of Zeeland would take top honors in this event with a score of 200 points. We go back to the races, the 100 butterfly. Zeeland's Chelsea Inglesman and Hamilton's Nella Pashak were going for the top spot in the final stretch. It would be Inglesman that would hold off the late push by Pashak to get the victory. Next to the 100 free, another close finish once again. This time it was between Mewson of Zeeland and Johnson for Hamilton. Top of your screen, it would be Mewson that would claim her second individual victory of the meet. More from Mewson as she was the anchor in the 200 free relay as she was battling Pashak in the final portion of this race. Talk about a finish. Mewson wins this one by 0.1 second to get the win. It would be too much from Zeeland on this night as the Hope College recruit Audra Eating would get the victory here in the 100 breaststroke. As the combined squad from Zeeland would get the win over Hamilton in this dual meet.
I'm Jeremy Otto, and we go to the east side for a Division I boys soccer district opener as St. Clair Shores Lakeview was at home to take on the Marauders of Warren Mott. These two teams split during the regular season, and Warren Mott being the one to get on the board first. Just 7 minutes into the contest, Keegan Sherwood receives a great ball and spins it past the keeper to give the Marauders a 1-0 lead. Lakeview would respond 13 minutes later. Camden Knoll lofts it over the top to the senior Giannis Tastios, and he pops it home to even the game at 1 apiece. Then just a minute later, Mott was awarded with the penalty kick, and it's Braden Abbott that does the honors and puts the Marauders back on top by a goal. Well, with 10 minutes left in the half, the Huskies would be awarded a PK as well. Logan Fallio tucks it home, and we're tied up at 2 heading into halftime. Midway through the second, Lakeview would get the go-ahead as Tastios would rifle one in for his second goal of the game, as Lakeview hangs on to win 3-2 the final. They'll face Roseville in the district semifinals on Monday afternoon.
I'm Zach Herrick from the West Michigan area. In the Sac Valley, it's Schoolcraft hosting Lawton. Senior night for the Eagles. You see Jet Gott and his parents there. It would be his little brother stealing the show, though. Just over 2 minutes in, it's sophomore Tag Gott, right on cue, who gets the handoff, goes 12 yards, slippery like butter, dives for the pylon, 8-0 Schoolcraft early after the conversion. But on the next Eagles drive, Alex Stoll looking deep, and it's picked off by Lawton senior Jonathan Holloway, but that offensive drive would stall for the Blue Devils. To the second quarter, it'd be Tag Gott once again, picking up right where he left off in the first. This time it's a 14-yard run to make it 15-0 Eagles. It would remain that at halftime, but in the third quarter on 4th and 2, Coach Waldrop dials up the pass, and it's Landon Motter finding Chase Mitchell on play action. He goes 61 yards down the sidelines to put the Blue Devils on the board. It would be 15-7 at that point. But too much Gott and the Eagles in this one. Another big run for a Schoolcraft first down here, and that would set up a 1-yard touchdown run from senior Jimmy Downs on 4th and goal. He's having an outstanding season. Schoolcraft wins it big, 45-14 the final. They improved to 4-1 on the season, and that lone loss came to Division III Chelsea. The Eagles look like they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in Division 7 this postseason. Paw Paw coming in unbeaten at 4-0, hosting perennial state power Detroit Country Day in a Saturday non-conference matchup.
Not concentrate on yourself, but concentrate on your teammates. And play for the brothers that are in this room.
Paw Paw head coach Matt Stevens getting his guys ready to go for this one. But early on, it would be Country Day striking first. Less than 4 minutes in, it's freshman Gabe Winowich from 3 yards out. It'd be 7-0 Yellow Jackets. The Paw Paw defense would hang tough, but in the second quarter, quarterback Brandon Mann keeps it himself up the middle and scores from 7 yards out. It would be 17-0 Yellow Jackets at the half.
In the start of the third quarter, didn't go Paw Paw's way either. A blocked punt here as Nick Watchell gets the body on it, and Joe Miller does the rest for the score. 24-0 Country Day in the third. But on the ensuing possession, Paw Paw would get the offense going. Junior Colin Sylvester on the reverse, going to cut it up the sideline and go 21 yards for 6. It would be a 24-7 ball game at that point. And the Red Wolves would get the ball right back after recovering the kickoff. That would turn into a 51-yard field goal attempt by junior kicker Jose Valverde. It is up and it is through the uprights. A new Paw Paw school record made it 24-10. But Country Day would be too tough in this one. In the fourth quarter, it's Graham Doman, the sophomore, up the middle for 27 yards and a touchdown. 37-17 would be your final score as Country Day wins it, and Paw Paw falls to 4-1 and will face Edwardsburg on the road in a Wolverine Conference showdown next week.
To get caught up with the latest in Michigan high school football, check out the State Champs Michigan Extra Point podcast. Matt Mowry, Scott Bernstein, and myself, Lauren Plant, talk about the latest results, the Mr. Football and Anvil competitions, and preview the week ahead. You can listen to State Champs Michigan's Extra Point podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Time now to take a look inside Lawrence Technological University. Ever dreamed of learning how to design automobiles or other modes of transportation? Lawrence Technological University is the place to pursue your passion. Lawrence Tech has created a unique transportation design program that allows you to blend your creative design talent along with comprehensive understanding of automotive technology. This unique program offers many unique benefits. 100% of students enrolled in the transportation design program win internships in the industry. Students participate in company-sponsored projects all 4 years. All students are given a personal workspace in dedicated design studios led by industry designers and leaders. And top student designs are displayed at the North American International Auto Show, one of the biggest shows in the world. If you're interested in transportation and industrial design and you want to learn more about the degree programs offered at LTU, do yourself a huge favor and go to the website right now, ltu.edu. Find out how you can steer yourself onto the highway of your incredible future.
I'm Jeremy Otto, and we head to Lake Erie Metro Park for the Downriver League Cross Country Championships from Thursday afternoon. We begin with the boys. Early on, it was a three-way battle for the top spot between Logan Lundgren from Woodhaven and teammates Michael McCooch and Sam Rankine from Wyandotte Roosevelt. To the final stretch we go. It was Lundgren and McCooch running side by side to claim the individual league crown, but this final push by Lundgren sealed the victory by a 2-second margin.
So the end of the race was hype. Really, the fans and all my teammates got me through it. I didn't have any doubts, but they really just made me push to the end.
Woodhaven would have 3 other runners place in the top 10 as they went on to claim the Downriver League Boys Championship crown. Now let's see how the ladies did. Woodhaven going for a clean sweep at the championship this year. The junior Brianna Vogino for the Warriors would jump out to the lead and never look back. She went on to win her first Downriver League title by nearly a minute with a time of 19 minutes and 9 seconds.
It feels really good because I've been working really hard this season. So I'm really proud of myself for pushing myself to do this.
Woodhaven had 4 other runners finish in the top 10 as well as they went on to win the Downriver League title.
I'm Chuck Pellerito, and let's check out some highlights from a Thursday night MAC Silver matchup. Both teams come in at 2-2 on the season. The Clintondale Dragons on the road taking on the Fitzgerald Spartans. First quarter, and the Spartans using the big play to get on the board first. Amari Spalding gets the call, finds the edge, cuts it upfield, has nothing but green in front of him, 30 yards, and Fitz up 6-0 early. Spartan defense stops the Dragons, and Spalding gets the call again. Breaks a tackle in the backfield and cuts it up. This time it's a 21-yard score. Spartans up 12 after the first. Dragons in the red zone. Markale Owens gets the direct snap, takes it up the left side, dives for the pylon, gets in, cutting the lead 2-6. But on the ensuing kickoff, the Spartans would strike. Troy West picks up the bouncing ball on the 16. One cut, hits the sideline, and he's gone. 84 yards to the house. Fitzgerald now up 20-6. Spartans going through the air late in the second. QB Thomas Lewis going deep. He'll hit Trey West, doing a great job to come back for the ball. He goes in for the final 10 yards. They would add another one at the end of the half. Spartans up 36-6. Dragons will start to close the gap in the third. Owens gets the snap again, fighting his way in from 4 yards out. They still trail 44-12. Fitzgerald would find the end zone one more time before the third quarter was done. Emmanuel Adebayo with a 4-yard score. Spartans up 50-12 going into the fourth. Give credit to the Dragons for not quitting. After getting scores from Dakaria Jenkins and Ja'Cory Bursey, they would hit a big one in the air. Chris Robinson would find a wide-open Kevin Gorney, but it wouldn't be enough as Fitzgerald holds on to win this one, 50-34 the final score.
Checking in on two of the better 8-player programs up in northern Michigan now. 4-0 Sutton's Bay hosting 3-1 Mesick early in the first. Mesick punting on fourth down, but Braden Opie blocks it, and Matthew Kohler scoops it up from there. Almost gets back to the house. He would get stopped at the 5-yard line, though. No big deal. Next play, Hugh Perriard would finish the job. Norseman up 6-0 early. Jumping to the start of the second quarter now. Sutton's Bay looking to go up 3 scores, but the Bulldogs had different plans in mind. They punched the ball out, and Matthew Fuller of the Bulldogs jumps on it to keep him out of the end zone. It's hard to keep Sutton's Bay out of there for too long, though. Sean Bramer shows us why. Gets the pitch, gets around the end. Looks like he gets tackled or pushed out of bounds, but no, he is clear, and he is ready to go. 72 yards to the house. Norseman up 27-0 at the half. They go on to win this one 33-0 at home after the game was called at the half due to lightning.
I'm Ryan Slocum. We go to an OK Conference Green Division matchup between Zeeland West and Muskegon. First quarter action, it would be Carson Golker on the QB keeper for the 3-yard touchdown. The Ducks quacking out to a 6-0 lead. More from Zeeland West later in the first. Golker on the play action. He spots Tarek DeYoung, who hangs on to it for the 5-yard score. They would get the 2 and let it 14-0 as they go into halftime. We jump ahead to the fourth. Muskegon going for it on 4th and 1. Amari Crowley goes in for the 7-yard touch. They would go for 2. They get it. Big Reds now down 14-8. Then with under 2 minutes left in the game, the Ducks trying to pin Muskegon back. Miles Walton returns the punt for the Big Reds, slips a couple of tackles, and there he goes down the sideline and to the crib. 94 yards for the touchdown. Muskegon takes the lead for the first time at 15-14. Zeeland West with one last chance. Golker throwing to the end zone for DeYoung. The ball hits the turf before DeYoung can get to it, and Muskegon hangs on to win it 15-14 the final. The Big Reds improve to 4-1 on the season.
All right, guys, you know the drill. Follow, like, subscribe, and please share all of our Michigan content from the social media platform of your choosing. We're on almost all of it. Also, take a minute to download the State Champs Sports app. We'd really appreciate it. See you next week. State Champs Michigan's high school sports show is presented by Lawrence Technological University and Lawrence Tech Athletics. For everything LTU, visit ltu.edu. You can recruit yourself to any of Lawrence Tech's 27 collegiate athletic teams by visiting ltuathletics.com. Also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, a proud partner of the MHSAA. And by Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor.